Welcome to India Podcasts.
Today, if you ask me my definition of success, it's very simple. Did I do the best I could do today? I know a lot of people right now feel like, especially young people, feel like their dreams have been denied. But I will say this, the dreams have not been denied, right? They've just been delayed. Success is being the real you, the happiest you, the most authentic you. It's a world where we can two things. You can see opportunity and you can find the light. And if you can't find the light, be the light. Create the light. What champion really is about is the human spirit is the champion. And the human spirit has been through wars. It's been through plagues. It's been through depressions. It's been through all these. That's what the champion really is in you. That's why I know we all are champions. The ultimate vaccine is faith. The ultimate oxygen we're looking for in our lives to breathe is love. And the ventilator that we can all live on right now is caring. I believe it's a balanced approach. It's balancing all four energies. In fact, a lot of us today are living imbalanced lives. I'll tell you right now, if you're a parent watching this or listening to this, the biggest concern for you should not be the education of your children. It should be the mental health of your children. The biggest thing I tell people today is don't manage your time. Manage your energy.
Welcome to another episode with me, Anku Goyal. In these hours of gloom and crisis, what we certainly need is some words of inspiration. Joining me today is an international speaker, an expert in leadership and peak performance, and a celebrated success coach, Anand Chulani. He's also the first Indian to have authored a motivational book that covered 50 global champions called The Absolute Champion. He's been the success coach for 2 IPL teams and has worked with some of the largest organizations in the world, including Google, Apple, Disney, Reliance, Agrotech, Accenture, or Hero MotoCorp, to name a few. Anand Chulani joins us today to redefine the meaning of success in these times of uncertainty. Thank you so much, Anand. It's a privilege to have you on India Podcast today with us. We don't need to introduce our guest today because he's someone who's introduced many in their careers, or at least driven them to the path of knowing what success is. Anand, my first question to you today, in the times we are in, quite defined, uncertain, unprecedented, we've been still figuring out where we stand today. Have you or will you redefine the word success for us today? How do we look at it? We don't know where to start from.
That's a great question to start with. I think there are 2 things. One is I've learned about success in my life, right? I've learned about it in my own journey. I started my career, when I was in college, of course, and then high school, college, and then I was an actor in Hollywood, a writer for sitcoms, and then I moved into coaching, and then I moved into speaking, and now I do coaching, speaking, and also consulting for a lot of family businesses in India and around the world. For me, it's an interesting journey because I think my definition of success has changed. But then what was really interesting to see is in the book I'm writing this year, that's going to come out this end of the year, hopefully, with Penguin, it's called Absolute Champion. I've interviewed the Ratan Tatas to the Sachins, I had one of the last interviews with Sri Deviji, to Donna Karen. Everyone has changed their definition of success. Every single person. And so for me personally, I started my life as an achiever, which is what we've all been taught to be. And for me, success was very simple. It was making lots of money and being famous. And the crazy thing about that definition was there was no boundary to that. So even when I was the first Indian to write for an American TV show and I was famous, I didn't feel fulfilled because I could do more. And then when I made money on a deal, I sold the show to Disney, I made lots of money, but I could make more money. So the game was always like a never-ending chase. And I never felt like this happiness within myself. I felt success, but the moment only felt good for like a week or a couple of days. And so I was always looking for a new path. And I found this path I call the path of the champion, which is about sustainable success. Not achieving success, but sustaining it. Feeling happy with yourself. And then using that happiness to get success. Rather than getting success to feel happy. I always tell people, why achieve to be happy when you can happily achieve? So the path of the champion is about winning 2 games of life. An internal game, which is happiness with myself, and an external game, which is success. And today, if you ask me my definition of success, it's very simple. Did I do the best I could do today? Because if I answer that question when I go to bed at night, I'm happy and I'm successful. There's so many things outside your control, especially in a COVID world like today.
Yes.
And if I use a parameter of success, like did my movie do well at the box office? Did I make lots of money this quarter? Did I inspire this person? I remember I did a gig once for 1,000 people, and I blew the roof off. And I saw one person in the back of the room, and they weren't standing to give me a standing ovation. And I walked off the stage feeling like a failure. And I thought, today, that's so crazy. I was so hard on myself. And today I realized success is not these numbers. Success is being the true you. And I've discovered what I call the real me, the core me, who I teach. And that's what I am. If I'm the real me, if I'm the core me, whether it's with my business or my family or my relationship or any area of my life, that's success for me. And that's in my full control. I know how to step into the peak part of me, the happiest part of me. I also know when I'm not in that state, and I know how to access it. And if I'm in that state, then that's success for me. And from there, I create results. A metaphor I'll leave you with is this. I work with some cricketers who were in the World Cup final last year. And two of them called me before the final, and they were really nervous. And one in particular messaged me and said, AC, they call me AC, by the way. Is AC, I don't know how I'm going to do tomorrow. What if I fail? I mean, I've worked so hard. And then my response to that person was, tomorrow, 22 people are going to go on that field thinking that winning a trophy will make them feel like a champion.
Yeah.
I said, you're going to be the one person who goes on that field, who goes on that field already a champion, and you'll win a trophy. That's the difference between the achiever path and what I call the champion path. And I live by the champion path, and I teach that. Success is being the real you, the happiest you, the most authentic you. That's success for me.
Has it gone against, Anand, when you say that somebody that being or feeling like a champion, being happy is where you tread your success path? But what if a disappointment sets in? What if the cricketer you would have kind of made him feel good about being a champion could not make it that day for various other outside external forces? How will he then be success? Will he have to factor in the external factors every time he defines it?
That's a great question. I think two things to that. One is any of the guys I coach or people I coach, we create an internal scorecard of success, which is what, and there's, besides being happy with yourself, there's a few different parameters to that. An internal scorecard. I can't reveal that, of course, for confidentiality. But I'll tell you one thing. It has nothing to do with how many runs I score. I've had someone that I coached, and at one point in their career, in 6-month period, they're averaging 108 in all 3 formats of the game. And I had never spoken to them, or we had never spoken in any session about how many runs am I going to score today. Because the external scorecard is important. I'm not saying it's not important, but that's what the world sees. That's what you guys all say, oh, great, great, great. But that's not how we look at success, because we don't let that drive us. Otherwise, what will happen, I've told cricket players, I'm using them as examples, that if they scored 10 runs, but they were in what I call flow, I'm happy. Because I know the next 3 matches they're going to go score big runs. But if they scored 50, but they're not in flow, or these internal scorecards I call flow, then I'm not happy, because that was a one-off. Anyone can have a good day. Anyone could have a good exam. Anyone can have a good quarter. And some of the guys I've mentioned, they've gone in the press and publicly said, everyone used to think of a zone as something I go in and out of. Actually, all these people have found out you can extend your zone. You can keep that flow much longer than you think you can by knowing how to find that flow. And that's the difference. So in that sense, of course, they're going to get disappointed. There's nothing wrong. And I'm going to be clear. I don't believe in what I would call positive thinking in the way it's used today, which is, oh, life's great. No, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed that I didn't do well in my test today. I'm annoyed I didn't, my career's on hold. I'm annoyed that COVID's happening right now and it's affecting my ability to grow my business or to have the life I want. Of course I'm annoyed. I'm a human being. It's not about not being annoyed. It's about, first of all, owning I'm annoyed and then saying, okay, is being annoyed the most empowering emotion right now to get me through this? I don't think so. Okay, now let me influence my brain and look at it from a different parameter. And the word you've actually used, using it, is a more important word, which is the word failure. And today, most people, if I coach I go to Indian schools, I speak
Yes.
all the time. I'll tell you right now, most people in India, most children in India are taught to not fail rather than to succeed.
Yeah.
We're taught to be scared of failure and to use fear of failure as a driver for
Yes.
success
Yes,
rather
indeed.
than achievement and this. If you watch this, it's so perfect. I'll tell you a great example, the Olympics. I see it all the time. Everyone says to me, why haven't we won more golds? I know why. And if I could work with the Olympic Committee, I would tell them, you have the more, we don't lack talent. Talent is not our issue. And everyone says, yes, training and resources. Yes, our teams need more resources and all those things. But the ultimate resource they need is the right mindset. And the right mindset is not to fear failure. I can see them immediately on, they'll get through a bronze, they'll get to the next level, they now know they got a bronze, and what happens? The minute they get a bronze, they feel comfortable because now they know at least I haven't failed. And so their energy drops down.
Your
Or
book.
they're in that thing and they're stressed out, and because of that stress, they don't perform at their peak and they don't even get the bronze. It's not a lack of talent. It's fear of failure. And I see it's not in schools. I see it in companies all over the place. And to answer your question, sorry, I'm going long on this. The player that I'm coaching, I'm going to show them a definition of success, but I also have to redefine failure. Because if I don't redefine both with them, they'll feel good, but then the runs won't come. So how do they respond to that when the runs don't
Exactly.
come so they can be in flow? That's my game with them.
In your book, you've also mentioned about success being a journey. Do you think that journey can be there in a situation we are in? If we are in a situation where we feel everything is so dismal, I'm not able to move because the situation is such globally. So now, if even I follow your path of success and believe in myself and stand up going as a champion tomorrow, how practically am I sounding to achieve it? And do you think situations also have to be factored in when walking the path of journey of success as you do?
Look, I know a lot of people right now feel like, especially young people,
Yes.
feel like their dreams have been denied. But I will say this, your dreams have not been denied, right? They've just been delayed. And I see that because, God's delays are not God's denials. And I truly believe it. If we see things and realize your dreams are here. In fact, for this entire reason, I've created a webinar, of my own, every Saturday at 6 p.m. If you're in India, please, if you're 13 to 20, please tune in. We have kids from over 100 schools all over India, Kenya, UK coming on. And I've shown them, I've done coachings with them on Zoom, one-to-one, in front of over a couple hundred kids. And I've also shown them that they can live their dreams now. As a result of these webinars, we've had kids who were originally stressed and feeling depressed or even suicidal or anxious, who are now starting their own business or starting a women's empowerment group or writing a book or writing a blog or working on their health or strengthening their relationship with their mother or father at home. So you can look at what's happening right now as dismal, and it's not, let me be clear, it's not a great world out there, but it's a world where we can two things. You can see opportunity and you can find the light. And if you can't find the light, be the light. Create the light. If you're in a community right now where everyone in your community has COVID and everyone is, and all around you is death and suffering, then how are you going to bring that light into this world? What are you going to stand for? How are you going to inspire? And I'll tell you this, human beings, why I believe in human beings is not because I'm a motivation speaker. I don't believe in motivation. It's like a nice warm bath and you feel good for an hour, but you forget an hour later. I believe in activation. And I believe within all of us, what we're really activating, what is the champion? The champion is not like some achievement. It's not the Dwayne Bravo champion IPL song, right? What champion really is about is the human spirit is the champion. And the human spirit has been through wars. It's been through plagues. It's been through depressions. It's been through all these things. That's what the champion really is in you. That's why I know we all are champions. Not because I'm saying this nice word, but because within you is that spirit. And if you tap into that spirit right now, amazing things can happen. I mean, there's a reason why Sikhs in New York, who before were being racially profiled and abused during 9/11, are feeding 30,000 people a day.
Imagine.
And then you have a guy who's a 99-year-old guy in London, a war veteran, who's raised $32 million for walking around his garden and for his 100th birthday. So, and yet we look at the old as, oh my God, the old, and there'll be this and nothing will happen. Let me tell you something. If you tell the old right now that they're weak, you're not helping them. Of course, take your precautions with them. Of course, secure them. Of course, keep them safe. But mentally, you have to tell them that they are champions, that they are strong, that they are like this man who's 100 years old. That is going to actually protect their health the most. The minute we tell someone they're weak, what are we doing? We're putting them into fear. What's fear going to create? It's going to create stress. What's stress going to create? It's going to create a change in their body, in the chemicals in their body. It's going to bring down their immune system, and then that's going to affect them more. We got to help them be immune to fear. Forget immune to COVID. Be immune to fear, and that will help fight COVID.
That's a beautiful message, Anand. Being immune to fear is much more a weapon than being immune to COVID, which is more dependent on an immunity and vaccine that's not coming around.
The ultimate vaccine is faith.
Wow.
The ultimate vaccine is faith. The ultimate oxygen we're looking for in our lives to breathe is love. And the ventilator that we can all live on right now is caring.
Wow. When we talk about this medical safety that you've created for us, do you think it really can practically make people believe, yes, believing, having faith is going to save my life? I mean, really, is that going to work? Or it's good to keep your human spirit high, as you were telling us to do that?
So it's a combination. You have to keep your spirit high, your emotion strong, your mind focused, and your body, of course, healthy. It's all four buckets. And what I'm saying is, if you just won't focus on the health side of it, but you don't strengthen those other three, you're not going to have it. I charge all four batteries of energy every day: my spirit, my heart, my mind, and my body. I go to practice. I do it. People ask me, why do I have energy? It's not because I'm some guy. I'm in my mid-40s. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink Red Bull. I have energy. I do work every day from about 10 o'clock in the morning to about 10 o'clock at night. I do 12-hour days, coaching or speaking, different companies, webinars, whatever I'm doing, writing my book. So my energy has to be my best. And how I keep my energy high is I charge these four batteries. So if any of your viewers or people are interested, on my website, anandchulani.com, we have a 20-minute audio that you can listen to. It's free. It's called How to Supercharge Yourself for Strategies for Success. Literally, I'll teach you how to charge these four batteries and how you can customize it for your own thing, because I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving you the principles so you charge the right batteries, because most people charge, for example, their physical battery. Yeah. They'll sleep or they'll drink water, but your mental battery is exhausted or your emotional battery is exhausted. That's like taking a Samsung charger and sticking to an iPhone. It won't work. You need the right charger for the right phone. Same thing here. We have four phones, four different charges of energy. We need to charge them properly. Also, if any of you are interested or your viewers are interested, I'm starting in the next probably 2 weeks a 21-day energy challenge. Now, usually this is a course I charge people for, but during COVID, I'm doing it for free. Basically, we create a WhatsApp group and we send you videos every day to charge the four batteries, and we literally focus on them. I bring in experts internationally as well as me who help you through those things, and you will literally see a change in your energy. So I believe it's a balanced approach. It's balancing all four energies. In fact, a lot of us today are living imbalanced lives. And the challenge with something like COVID, which is uncertainty, if I'm in sports, if you're balanced, you're grounded. And if you're not balanced, I can push you and you'll fall over. So you've got to be balanced. And what does balance means? Balance means spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Some people are really good on physical and they're really good on spiritual, actually, but they're lacking the mental and emotional. And so they pray and they take care of their health, but Emotionally, they just can crack like this. Or emotionally, they're strong, but they haven't built their spirit. Or they're mentally strong, but they haven't built their physical. So you got to build all four so you can have sustainability.
And then I want to know, you've answered my questions also. I indeed have to thank you for that. You said there has to be a balance. Either the youth is going towards gymming and maintaining their body and physique, or they're going towards meditation. Now, do you think this whole change where youngsters are going and looking for such a avenue where they can put their stress down is a change required, and you are also promoting that somewhere? That let's all go towards that.
Absolutely. And I think the youth need to know. I'll tell you the biggest problem of the achiever path that I mentioned. One word or one phrase: burnout. And I cannot tell. I have had people call me. I can't, of course, reveal who. I had a CEO of a major company call me 3 days ago, stressed out. And then when we really got into it, that person broke down in tears. As a CEO of a major company. And they weren't stressed about their business. What they were stressed about was the fact that they didn't have balance in their life. And actually what they really wanted was to be with their family. And I say
this
that
realization has come in now. Is it something new that people have got into, or is it the time and the pace of technology that has thrown us all off gear? What could have worked there?
we all, if we really sit in the quiet and ask our conscience the truth, our core of the truth, we know what's most important to us in life. But most of us, and you think I'm crazy when I say this, most of us don't live a life aligned with actually what we want. We actually live a life based on what we think, or let me rephrase, we live a life based on what we think we want rather than actually what we need. As a result is I spend hours and years of my life slogging my butt off at work, and then one day I go home and I realize I've got no relationship with my wife, or I've got no relationship with my kids. I'm not saying me, I'm saying people. Or my health is gone. So I've spent so many times focusing on one area. We're so used to compartmentalizing our life, thinking that gives us certainty, rather than working with the one person that we can control. You cannot control your business. You can't control every area of your life. What you can control is you. And if you are your best, you can do that. And the biggest thing I tell people today is don't manage your time. Manage your energy.
Oh my God, that's a great message.
Because time is 24 hours a day. Energy is unlimited. I can give you 2 more hours with your wife, husband, or child, but if you're stressed out and on the phone, that's no time. But if I give you 15 minutes with you in the peak spiritual, emotional, physical, mental energy, present, centered, that's value.
And then when you have trained so many people there, you've assisted them through their journey. Even celebrities, we see they have gone through stress at the helm of their success. How do you talk about that? You see their success story, but reaching there, sustainability can be questioned at any point. Is that strange?
The problem, the interesting thing about celebrity, I find a really interesting word today. Because what is celebrity? Celebrity is someone that is a high achiever, that we have put into some sort of higher status, where they now become role models to us. Well, we do that, but also human nature is some of us feel inadequate and insecure. So as a result, what we do, we look at that celebrity, whilst we admire them, we're also jealous of them. And so what we do is we troll them, we look for weaknesses, we hope that their relationship kind of goes messed up, because how dare they be a box office star and have a happy relationship. So we do all these things, but we're not, and actually ironically, we're doing it to feel, it's not about them, it's to do with us. It's actually us feeling insecure about our lives. I tell all the celebrities, you should not be pulled if you get trolled. It has nothing to do with you. That person just feels unhappy about their own life. So a lot of times what happens there, and the other challenge is this: if I take the wheels of your car and I make them not aligned, and I make it a weak foundation, and you drive 5 miles an hour, you're going to have problems. But if you drive 120 miles an hour, you're going to have major problems. Celebrities are driving at 120 miles an hour, but they don't have the right foundation underneath them from the start, which is they were taught to focus on success to feel happy,
Yeah.
rather than happy to feel success. And so what happens is they get the success, but then they suddenly realize, how many more Oscars, movies, this can I get? I'm not feeling something inside. There's always more. And so in their peak moments, they feel depressed. Or something doesn't work out the way they want it, and they feel depressed. And I cannot tell you how many Oscar winners or gold medalists I have met who've been depressed. Abhinav Bindra, someone I coached and who's been public about this. So not let me rephrase. I haven't coached him. I interviewed him for my book. He said the next day after receiving the gold medal, literally he's sitting in his room and he holds the gold medal and he said, I feel depressed.
Oh my God.
Michael Phelps felt depressed, and he's one of the highest achievers of all time in the Olympics. It's because the model is not the problem with the person. It's the problem in the model in the first place, which will not give you balanced success. It will always give you achievable success and always make your happiness with yourself go up and down. And then you drive at 120 miles an hour, then that poor model is tested. So to me, I think, in my opinion, the people we should really be celebrating in society are not the most successful. We should be celebrating the people who are the happiest. When you find out who you really are, there is no competition. Because I've proven in my book why Sachin got runs and why Sehwag got runs. And it has, yes, their skill level, but both are being true to themselves. And one didn't try and be like the other. Maybe in their skills, yes, but not in their core. And if you know what I call your core, there is no competition. You're not going to get triggered by that Facebook or that Instagram look of someone else who has a more successful life than you. Well, they say it's successful, but actually you have no idea because they're just projecting it. So this, I am one of, anyone who knows me, I'm one of the most ambitious people you know. Ask my team. I am highly ambitious. I have an insane, I want to help 1 billion people. I'm not just sitting in a cave saying being happy.
Does that make you anxious? Does that make you anxious?
Not at all. It makes me excited because I know that to me, but here's the thing. Remember I said 2 games of life? My goal is 1 billion champions. But my definition of success daily is did I give my best? So every day I'm winning that game and ultimately I'm moving to that game. So I don't feel anxious in the moment. I feel excited. Every person I get to impact feels like 1 billion champions to me.
Every person you impact.
And that gives me more and more energy to keep going. So I know I don't run out of energy. So I can get to my billion. Versus, oh my God, I got this big target and I stress myself out and I may get there, but then I burn out. What example am I to the world if we impact 1 billion champions and the day after we do that, I have a nervous breakdown? What example am I? I'm no example. So I have to be the living example of being charged with energy no matter what.
Anand, you brought me to my next question by your answer only.
Yes, sorry.
You don't want to set any other example, but what if, is there a fear or a pressure that I cannot break down for any good or bad reason because I am a living example for people. So I have that pressure. I can't really do or go wrong.
Your role model question I'm going to answer is a great question. But let me answer this one first. It's a great question. Actually, it's one of the best questions I've ever been asked. So you're
inspiring me. So I'm happy.
You're outstanding journalist. That's a brilliant question because no one really asks me about the internal game for me. So I'll be honest with you and transparent since you've asked it in that space. To me, I've always wanted to help people and 1 billion people, right? But it's been pressure. I've gone through moments of, I don't want to fail. I've gone through moments of, oh my God, I'm carrying the world, the future of the world's happiness on my shoulders. I felt the pressure of my mission. There's no question. But at the end of the day, the thing that shifts it for me, that gets me out of that pressure is one piece. My mission, I realize one thing. It is not my mission. It is the world's mission that I am a catalyst in. And when I go to that mindset, it changes it for me. Because I am not when I do an event for young people, for example, I finish my event and I tell them, I said, in this session today, you thought I was on stage and you were the audience, but actually it was the other way around. I was in the audience and you were the stage. And I say that because I say the same thing, which is it's not about me. It's absolute champions. And Anand Chulani is the person to support you, to guide you with the methodology to access who you really are. So in that sense, when I go from that mindset, it takes the pressure off of me because I know it's not about me doing it. It's about having the right team. It's about building a mission that can spread itself. It's about touching people's lives so that they can touch the lives of others. What's so beautiful in these webinars we're doing is to hear the way that, a kid is now going to help another kid who's then going to help another kid and who's helping another kid. And those examples to me are so powerful. Or to see a CEO shift and then because of that they change their environment, or the way a mother shifts and then she's able to impact her family as a result. That's the power. I'll leave you with one metaphor. It's a very powerful metaphor, which is when I was burning out at one point in my life of energy. Before I found the champion path, I was still in the achiever path, and I went to see an acupuncturist. And they told me, my star sign in Chinese is the dragon. So I go in there and I brag to them and I'm like, I'm the dragon, feeling all important in myself, so silly, right? But I do that, and then this Chinese man, I never forget, although a really bad version of his accent and his voice right now, but he just looks at me and goes, "Oh, you a dragon?" Yes, I'm the dragon. He goes, "Yes, you a dragon. Stupid dragon, but you dragon." And I was like, what? And he said, you're a stupid dragon because you use all your energy to help other people. Yeah. If you were a smart dragon, you use your energy to bring energy from them. And that was the shift in me, which is actually the burden doesn't come on me. That's why it says to activate them, not to motivate them, is to help them see that the energy they require in their life is within them. It's not within me. I am just a mirror to what is possible in them. And when they see it, they carry that, not burden, but responsibility of being who they really are.
We all are being stupid dragon right now, because that's what even I thought. Motivating is the way and not activating them. I think it's a kind of a mirror reflection on me today, that it's not good to be a dragon, but a stupid dragon there. It's quite interesting and entertaining, Anand.
Trust me, as a guy who used to call myself the unfreaking stoppable dragon before I went on stage. And the minute I heard this, I was suddenly, it just changed my whole thinking. And I suddenly realized I'm doing this wrong. I'm literally burning myself out to serve others when I don't need to burn me to serve. I need to charge me. And more importantly, then remind others of the charge within themselves so that they can be that energy.
And how will you talk about, now we have all the political people especially taking a lot of pressure because all the countries are quite sailing in the same boat. We don't know how, be it India, the Prime Minister is trying his best to use the energy of unity to bring us together, and people have quite criticized and appreciated that. How can that work? How are you looking at your message for the leaders of the world now, who are now here to define success for this fight or the human war we are into?
First of all, let me say a couple of things. I feel for Prime Minister Modi ji, because being Prime Minister of our country is not an easy job.
Totally.
Our country is multiple countries in one country. There are so many different backgrounds and people, and each state has its own personality. And it's not easy to please everyone.
True.
And if you're trying to please anyone in the world today, you'll never please everyone. I call it the disease to please. So it's not an easy job. I'm not here to say whether he's doing a great job or not a great job. It's not my job. It's the people's job to say that's what elections for, to vote how they believe someone's been. But I will just say this. I think we have to also remember that these leaders are human. Yes, they are positions of high leadership. And yes, they should know how to be the best they can be. But they're also human. And they don't, and something like COVID is brand new. And they're figuring it out on the spot. And I think to me, the best leaders are the ones that actually in themselves recognize that they're human and are not scared to say, we're figuring it out. We'll come back to you. We're figuring this out. We're sorting this out. Give us a week. I think right now, the key things, if I could speak to any leader, the three most important things right now would be honesty is number one, because you're talking about people building trust in you right now. If you oversell right now, you'll lose trust. You may be thinking you're giving people confidence, but you're actually destroying trust. And I see this all the time in businesses with CEOs overselling and losing trust to their people. So overselling right now and under-delivering is the other thing. So there's two things. One is be honest. Two is deliver whatever you say you're going to deliver and have integrity. And the third is, I think, come from a place of two things. Compassion, to really feel what people are going through, and learning. Because if you're in learning mode right now, rather than I have all the answers, you'll figure things out quicker. And I think the leaders in the world that I respect the most are the ones that are the most honest, are the ones that have the highest integrity, are the ones that are showing the most compassion, are the ones that are showing the most kind of like learning. And as a result of that learning, what they're doing is they're being the most resourceful. And that's the key to me to solving this. If you come from the opposite of what I just told you, which is you're overselling, you don't deliver on what you're saying, you're not really compassionate, you think you know everything, you come across as arrogant, not knowing what you're talking about, not understanding of the people, and then people lose not only trust in you, but they lose respect for you. And when a country has lost trust and respect in a leader, just like a business, it's over. Because now what happens is we go to other people who come on that we do have trust in, and we do have respect in. And then what happens, that's when a country gets divided. There's no better time in the world. And I told my team this, I said, what we do, which is our specialty is mental, emotional strength. There's no better time in the world for this right now, because the world needs this more than ever, because you're seeing high levels of anxiety, high levels of depression. I'll tell you right now, if you're a parent watching this or listening to this, the biggest concern for you should not be the education of your children, should be the mental health of your children. And I'm not just saying that for me. Forbes put that in their article. So that is where the world is going. And if we don't build people to be resilient, to be strong, to be champions, I'm telling you right now, COVID is is just one of many forms of adversity. There's going to be a massive economic hit after. There is already. The ramifications of that are going to go on. There's an impact going to be on the way we interact. So many businesses are going to go out of business. Even the ones that are trying to adjust to a post-COVID world can't do it because they can't get enough scale and numbers of people. And we were in a world where we were actually moving the other way. We were about sharing things, right? We were about Airbnb. We were about Uber, right? We were about shared office space. All about putting people closer together and in more proximity and sharing space. And now we've just had an entire shift where it's distancing. So it's going to be a massive challenge in the world. And our challenges are not ending. They're starting. And so if we're not mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically fit, strong to handle them, we'll burn out. Inspire comes from the Latin in spirit, in spirito. And in spirit means something about what someone's saying or a movie I'm watching or music I'm listening to brings out the spirit in me. So people always tell me the time, oh, AC, you've inspired me. I said, no, I haven't inspired you. I've just reminded you of the spirit in you.
It's a very humble way, Anand, to look at things. It's a privilege for me. I can go on with the session. I never thought I would want to go on and on with it. I'm really going to take some initiative ahead to find a way to connect back with you. It's been really, I won't say inspiring, it's been enlightening for me to have a chat with you today. And I hope your book really comes up soon, as you're saying, and we are getting a chance to go through and have another interview in person in Mumbai next time. It's a
I would
privilege
love
for
that.
Brought to you by India Podcasts in association with ICI Healthcare for Pure Care Sanitizers.